Hello and welcome back. In the previous video, we talked about mastering the critical skills and looking at the performance level. And we used examples from LinkedIn and comparing your critical tasks, such as your competencies, to someone who's already serving in that capacity or that job. This video, we're going to look at SWOT. SWOT is an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So let's talk about the strengths. The strengths are those things that we have deduced from looking at someone serving in the capacity between LinkedIn and your job description, which we saw in an earlier video, to determine where we're at. What's really our strengths? Are there some competencies that we're already strong in that will be beneficial for the job that we're looking to land, or maybe even for that next promotion? So we're going to look at the strengths and say, what are we strong at? And there's two aspects of this. So as we go through this video, we're going to look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats personally, but we're also going to look at it from an environmental standpoint, the job environment itself. So as we look at the strengths as far as our competencies to see what are our strong suits, we also want to see what's the strengths for that environment. What type of environment or job environment, as you will, that I excel at? Is it an environment that empowers, or do I need an environment that does more micromanaging, gives me more directive? And so now let's look at the next point, which is weaknesses. The weaknesses will be those things that we have identified that maybe I need some improvement in, or maybe I don't have at all. So I need to have a strategic plan to develop this competency that this job is really looking for. Also, what type of work environment do I not flourish in? Put my best foot forward. It might be a work environment that, again, has a lot of oversight or a lot of micromanaging, if I'm looking more for an environment that gives me empowerment, the ability to use my creativity to perform my task. So that's weaknesses. Opportunities. So opportunities are going to be those in places where I can improve upon a weakness. So even though, for example, say if communication might be a weakness of mine, and more specifically the oral or the verbal standpoint, maybe this particular job gives me the opportunity to hone in those skills. Maybe they offer training, maybe there are some on-the-job training I can do, maybe they pay for some classes, or even as I go through this course, maybe there might be some more opportunities where I can find organizations that can help with my verbal competencies, such as Toastmasters. So opportunities is those things which I know I can improve on and I should improve on in order to land that desired job. Also, opportunities might be within the environment, the workforce itself. So I might be looking for a work environment that gives me the opportunity to cross-train or to have many hats. So if it's a smaller company, I might be able to work in different departments, again, building to my own career path, versus a larger company who's going to hire me specifically for one purpose, one job, and I'm pretty much going to be doing the same task day in and day out. So that's my opportunity. Threats. Now, threats is something that we can look at personally. Maybe I'm not a self-starter. I'm not an initiator. I procrastinate. So that can be a threat for the job itself as well as an environment, particularly if the environment calls for someone who is a self-starter, an initiator, you're in an empowered environment. Then a threat will be if I'm in that environment and I really need to be in an environment that has a lot of more hands-on, a lot of more direction, a lot of more timetables, or times that I have to have something due. So that's pretty much looking at our strength, our weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Another great tool that we can use is what's called a Myers-Briggs test, which tests your personality. So I would highly recommend, and there are some free websites that you can go to if you do a Google search for MyersBriggs Test. And it would tell you whether or not you're a thinker, a judger, whether or not you have an outgoing personality, or whether you're an introvert. And it would help you to determine what type of environment that you will flourish in, as well as those competencies that are going to be very easy for you to pick up and improve on, versus those that you might need to put a little bit more detail in because they're a little bit harder for your particular type of personality. So what have we learned? We learned that SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, is something that is used very often in the business environment. Businesses look at this. But now we're able to take this SWOT and look at it internally and personally to say, what are my strengths as far as competencies? What are my weaknesses? Are there any opportunities that I might be able to flourish in? As well as what are those threats that I should be aware of? Thank you.